alloy. Tethers connect that to a heavy ring called a heave plate.
The heave plate actually wants to sit still, and what results is changes in tether tension that happen continuously as waves interact with the device. And it's that tether tension change that we tap into to create electricity.
It's a sturdy system with few moving parts, rugged enough to stand up to harsh seas with little need for maintenance.
So here's just a schematic representation of our system.
The team plans more tests with increasingly larger and more sophisticated prototypes. At full scale, each Triton system will be 30 yards wide and will power more than 650 homes.
Ultimately, what wave energy offers is an opportunity to take a very large resource that hasn't been a part of the mix today and isn't really been considered in that sense, and allow it to play a role.
Tapping the ocean for clean power at a competitive price. It's an electrifying prospect. For Science Nation, I'm Miles O'Brien.
This is Border Crossings. My name is Larry London, and I'll be your host for today's show as we welcome a music star from the 1980s, whose hits include Every Time I Think of You, Change, Back on My Feet Again, and of course, the #1 song, Missing You. John Waite's name might not be easily recognizable, but his smash hits and his unique vocal styling certainly are. From his days with Bad English and the Babies to his own solo recordings, John Waite has toured with Ringo Starr and many other music giants. John's music has topped the U.S. and U.K. charts, and he's on tour today. And he joins us for a live performance and interview. Stay tuned for John Waite on today's Border Crossings.
I put my heart on hold.
Hi, this is Larry London. Welcome to Border Crossings, and what a great show we've got for you today. I'm very excited myself because I'm a fan of this man and his music over the years, going back as far as the 70s. And we welcome to D.C. and to Border Crossings and to the worldwide VOA audience, John Waite. Welcome to our studios.
Oh, it's great to be here, Larry. Thanks.
It's a pleasure to meet you in person. I have been playing your songs with the Babies and with Bad English for many, many years. And
so have I.
So have you. Probably many more times, I'm sure, than I have. But I love the songs. I love your music.
Thanks.
I love your sound and everything that you've been putting out. And are you on tour now for a new album?
There's a greatest hits called Best. And there's like 12 songs that span the whole career. That's just come out, that's in the shops. And we got one called Wooden Heart Volume 2, which is like a retrospective. It's an acoustic anthology. And Missing You's on there, Isn't It Time, some of the really big songs, and then some of the obscure songs from past albums that are acoustic. It's an amalgam of like new cuts and old cuts. But it's a beautiful record. It came out of nowhere. It only took a day and a half to record the 6 songs that are on the 12 tracks. And I didn't know what I was doing. I was going in there to cut 4 tracks for an EP, because the Volume 1 was an EP. And it became 6 tracks, and then I just added these other tracks in, and it was this album. But it's like, it's Spartan, it's stripped down. Sometimes it's just me and one guitar. A lot of it is just me and one guitar. But it's got something that I didn't expect it to have, and it's really kind of an experience listening to it. It really surprises me. It happens so fast.
What's the vibe on the new album? I know you've kind of evolved over your career, and for a while it was rock, and then you did a little bluegrass, and you worked with Alison Krauss.
Yeah.
So, you know, where's the new sound for these days?
Well, no, I started off on the acoustic. You know, I really did. My cousin Michael Deegan is with the Temperance 7, which is a trad jazz band in England that were big in the 50s and stuff, but he's the banjo player. And when I was a kid, he was a painter who went to art school, but he'd play me Jimmy Rogers songs and Hank Williams and Big Bill Brunsey, and it all came from this national big acoustic guitar with a resonator, and then he would play like acoustic. But I grew up listening to that before I heard rock and roll. So when I look back to the key things that motivate me musically, it's always on the acoustic guitar. Even as far back as the Babies, the best songs were all written on the acoustic. And left to my own devices, I would play like country or folk or Celtic music or blues. But country blues, not so much electric blues like Chicago blues, it'd be Delta, you know? So it all comes from this. And as I got older, especially when I got out of Bad English, when that broke up, I went straight back to the acoustic. It was so natural. I was living in New York City, and the reason for playing the acoustic at that point, other than just I loved it, was that you couldn't make a lot of racket at 2 in the morning. You know, people would knock on the doors and you'd get evicted, you know, so I had the acoustic with me all the time. But it spoke to me, and it always has. And so at this point in my life, when I don't need to sort of do anything other than what I want to do, you know, this is what I'm doing now. It's just gone back to what I loved as a kid.
What's the name of the new album?
It's called Acoustic Anthology, Wooden Heart Volume 2.
Excellent. Well, and that leads me to believe there's going to be Volume 3.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm already thinking about that. We got some downtime in November and December, and there's so many songs, you know. I mean, I got some of the songs that I want to recut from the Babies, like You. There's songs that are just beautiful songs I'd like to sort of update and just bring out without any orchestration or, like, backbeat. Just the acoustic, it speaks so truly, you know. I want to get back to that. And there's new songs I've written, and all of the new songs are like on the acoustic, but they're kind of rock songs. It's not like I'm country, but I'm influenced by country. The intention of country is like storytelling, and I've always had that. I've always been able to like tell a story in a song, and I didn't realize till recently that's where it came from. It's really an honest acquisition, you know. It's like something that happened to me as a kid. Cowboy songs, you know, Marty Robbins. They're all story songs, you know. Right. So the natural thing for me to do is tell stories. But it works on the acoustic, not so much on the electric.
Yeah, there's not many storytelling guitar-based bands these days. I mean, you know, you have an artist like Ed Sheeran, for example.
Yeah.
He tells stories, plays the guitar. So it's
you get
great.
it in country. You get it in country and you get it in bluegrass. But in rock's something else.
Yes.
Rock, unless you like Bob Seger, who can like... and obviously Bruce Springsteen.
Right.
There are people that really
Bob
own
Dylan,
that.
the legends,
Bob Dylan, you know, I mean, Dylan's like you know, he's Dylan. There's only one Dylan, and he's the boss.
We've got John Waite in our studios on tour for album 11. And
is it?
I guess you're not counting anymore.
No, I was. I thought it was more like 20, actually.
It feels like it, huh?
No, it's 20. Oh, wow, the solo records, it's 11. But if you put Bad English in there and the
That's
Babies,
true. It's
it gets to
probably
like 20 or 21.
Yeah, and
it's
40
insane.
years, right? 40
yeah, more than
years.
40 years. I think somebody's trying to make me look good, but I said it's 40 years. It's more like 43 or something, you know?
Well, you look great.
Oh, thank you.
And introduce the guys in the band.
On the stool.
In the stool?
Yeah, we couldn't bring a drum kit. They couldn't fit it in.
You, I just wouldn't have a clue. 'Cause sometimes it seems like this world is closing on me. There's no way of breaking free. Then I see you reach for me. Sometimes I want to give up and give in. After everything is said and done, baby, you're my reason for living, yeah. When I see you smile, oh, I can do anything, yeah. When I see you smile, oh yeah, baby, oh, I can do anything, yeah. When I see you smile, baby, baby, when I see you smile at me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Baby, there's nothing in this world that could ever do what the touch of your hand can do. It's like nothing that I ever knew before. And when the rain is falling, I don't feel it. You're here with me now. One look at you, baby, that's all I ever need. Yeah. When I see you smile, I can face the world. Oh, I can do anything, yeah. When I see you smile, see a ray of light. Oh, see it shining right through the rain. When I see you smile, baby, when I see you smile at me. Oh yeah, every day in my life. All right, smile at me, yeah.
Wow. Huge hit. John Waite. Great song. 1989, you co-wrote that with Diane Warren?
Yeah, no, Diane Warren wrote that.
She wrote the song?
Yeah, yeah. Old friend of mine from way back.
Wow.
Yeah.
And where were you when you heard your song on the radio for the first time? You remember?
Me, I was on PCH with the babies. The top was down. We were going off to see Ronnie Wood from the Stones at Malibu Colony. And a mutual friend was going to take us over there to say hi. And we're driving up the PCH with the Pacific on the left and California on the right, and just blazing up PCH. It was an incredible thing, you know. I mean, it's like, I guess you think you've arrived when you hear your song on the radio. I mean, it's the first time.
Did you have to pull over to the side of the road?
No. We just sort of sat there and listened. I think when you hear it for the first time, nobody speaks. When the babies first came to America, we came down Sunset Boulevard, and there was a gigantic billboard over, just by Tower Records, not over Tower Records, but seeing a billboard with your name on it, that's something else. That's the same thing for me. It was the same memories that I have of LA and being in the babies, being a kid and being that successful. It was, it has a lot of impact. You know, you remember that, like a picture book, you know.
There's a big risk when you are in a big band like the Babies, and then you make a change to another band with a totally different name. And so precipitated that? What caused you?
Well, no, the babies just broke up after 7 years. We'd really run our course. That was the end of it, really. I went back to England, got married. I kind of quit. And it was enough for me. I thought, well, I've made 5 records and I've had a good time, and I'm, you know, I'm not even 30. It's kind of like it was a great time to say goodbye. And I don't know whether they felt the same way, but I'd definitely given it everything I could. I went back to England, bought a small cottage in the country, got married, settled down. And then I started to miss New York, which was kind of weird because I'm living in the countryside. You know, it's like, you know, all creatures great and small. You know, it really was. It was the Lake District and small, beautiful little village in Sedbergh, near Kendal. And 2 lawyers got me out of a record deal. And I went to LA to meet EMI, and they signed me to this really good deal. And I didn't go home for about 3 months. It was like one of those things. I started to write the record, and it happened. It happened so quick. I'd had such like time off that by the time I hit the ground again, I was not just running, I was racing. You know, I was really understood what I wanted to do, and I was no longer with this other record company, and the new record company actually liked what I was doing, you know. So, and man, it happened so quickly, you know. And instead of just doing like some work, meeting a few guitar players, signing the deal and going home, I had to stay in America and finish it, which leads us into Missing You, because at the 11th hour, we were mixing the record. They had this great band, Donny Nosov on bass, Gary Myrick on guitar, and Curly Smith on drums. It was a tragically great band. And we'd blazed through this record, written a lot of stuff together, but I knew we hadn't got a big single. I just knew it, and there was something missing. It's like making a jigsaw puzzle, and there's a piece missing, and everybody's looking at the jigsaw going, yeah, it's great, isn't it? You're going, yeah, but there's a piece missing, and nobody got it. And I was going away while David Thorner was mixing. And I was trying to write something else, and I didn't even know what. And a friend of mine had this backing tape. We were working on this song in his studio, and I'm in the bedroom singing on this mic, and he's got a studio in his living room. And we were trying to find this tape we'd been working on for this song. We couldn't find it. It kept stopping the tape machine. And he hit the button at the wrong time, and this backing track came up. And I said, what's that? He said, oh, it's just, I'm just, you know, it's nothing. I just did it last night. And it was like, boom, dun, 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 dun. And I thought, no, that's right up my street, that. What do you got? So he put that up on the headphones and the mic. And I went back in the bedroom microphone situation and sang the first verse chorus of Missing You without missing a beat. And that's what I was saying about, like, knowing there's a piece missing. Your subconscious is working overtime. I haven't been back to New York. I haven't been home to see my wife. And I'm really kind of feeling it. And Missing You came out, you know. And on that microphone, in that moment, after the first chorus, I choked. You know, it was like everything I've been walking towards in my life happened in that moment. And I knew that it was number one. And I knew my life would never be the same again. And that's, you know, true story.
Can you do Missing You? Would you do this? Great.
We can.
This is the song that knocked What's Love Got to Do with It?
Yeah,
Tina Turner, right off
Tina
the chart.
Turner.
Knocked her right off the throne.
My heroine. I just, you know, it was, and I got to meet her the week before.
Oh, boy.
At a party, and I leant over and I said, you know, I'm number one next to you.
That's right.
You know, what a way to say hello to Tina, you know. But she was very gracious, you know.
Wow, fantastic. Missing You, John Waite.
Every time I think of you, I always catch my breath, and I'm still standing here, and you're miles away, and I'm wondering why you left. And there's a storm that's raging through my frozen heart tonight. I hear your name in certain circles, and it always makes me smile. I spend my time thinking about you, and it's almost